let's work on, I don't know, we're gonna work on a lot of things, alright? So I'm gonna press this button, and hopefully some point in the live stream, my voice comes up. And I really hope that it was near the start of the video. Alright, what do we got? A little early. Alright. Whatever. We are live. Let's make sure that we're on WPC as well. Then we'll be fine. Let's go into our project. What we got here are all of our items. I'm a player, you'll see. Let me just introduce you with the layout of my Unity first. We have the scene, which is the editor window up here in the middle. We have my game screen is hidden down here at the bottom below my log, as well as the hierarchy. I don't use the hierarchy much on a project like this, as you can click on every item. Alright? Here are our textures. Oh god, the kettle's already gone. And in the bottom left is the item manager. This is the thing that I'll be working on. Alright, so today we're going to make an item and inventory system in Unity. Huzzah! And we're live. Alright. I have so many windows open. I also do apologize that your Steam was on the stream there for a second. And I've got a kettle whistling in the background, so... 30 seconds to get the kettle! Alright. Now that we got our kettle, let's get back to Unity game development. Ha 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 ha. Alright. What are we gonna do first? Well, as you see, I had already started on working on an item manager. This is something that would allow us to use the Unity editor and editor scripts to work on our items. Why would you do that? Well, you might want to save items. Look at this. Down in my items database are saved items. That means that these items are going to persist between not only me restarting, right, but also in me building the game. These items will get bundled in with the game. Now, these little assets here are custom-made assets. These are format, let me just click on them, that I put together, and you'll see in the top left, you can edit their properties because I gave them the ability to be edited. So if I click on, say, Blue Potion, we'll see that, you know, it has an icon, an opus, it can stack, there's some quantity options. Those aren't really customized, alright? The place in which I've customized them is if we click on a Blue Potion, we'll see that, hey, there's a little bit of an interface, right? That's the old interface. If I click on one of the new items, down here, you'll see that, wait, we have a much better interface. Here's where you can edit the icon, the description, the title, stacking information, and the shape, i.e. inventory dimensions, of your item. Alright. So I just wanted to tell Watch People Code that we were live. Now that everyone knows that we're live, let's get on this. So, I am using the wide layout, with some exceptions. I've moved my inspector up to the top left, and I've moved a number of other windows, like lighting, underneath it. You can find those by going to Window, and then Lighting. Same thing with the occlusion mask and the navigation mesh. We'll be using those eventually. This cube is a surrogate for our player. We will replace him with a better model in the future. Not very important right now. This is our camera. If we click play, I've configured my interface to make the game full screen. You can do this by going down here on game and clicking maximize on play. It's a very important option to have. One thing I did notice, my mouse is missing. So let me just take a second right here and add my cursor back to the stream. There we go, because you're going to need to know what I'm pointing at from time to time. And feel free, if anyone has any questions, just leave them either down in the chat there, and I'll respond, or just give me a call. You can call me on Skype and join the stream if you want to, or send me a message on Steam, and I'll be sure to do what I can. So we have these bows, rings, and this gold band, which is something I just created recently. That's why all of these things here show as bold. That means they haven't been saved. Now, I've got a habit here. I save my things under this folder. So I'm just going to drag this as a pre-configured, i.e. prefabricated, right, down into my folder. This is to organize things. Now, I'm going to go up here into the top left. Sorry, bottom left. I'm going to add a new item into my items database. This item is going to be a gold band. Gold band. Let's just resize this. I haven't quite fixed scrolling yet. That's my own fault. Ooh. So we've got this gold band here, and we're going to say that it's a bracelet, I think. Wait. Shit, we already have a gold band. Okay, so interesting problem with the way that my item system works right now. Everything is saved based on the item's name. So you cannot afford to make duplicates. So I guess I will add one more thing, which is a formed ring. And this is a golden ring that has been modified in such a way as to allow a gem to be set. And this will be a fairly valuable item, even though you see there's no concept of value yet in my system. I will close out this item, and I will save the item database. So, with our formed ring, we're going to open up Blender, and we're going to make a formed ring. So, go here, delete everything. We're going to open, I've made a few rings here, ring 3. You see, it's just a band. Alright, it's a band. I made it into a shape. I then used subdivide to create this face. And I moved these little prongs towards the center. Alright? Now I'm going to show you one of the most important steps, and that's called UV mapping. I do my UV mapping directly in Blender. So again, what I just did was I clicked on this icon in the top left, and I clicked composting. Now I'm going to click on this icon here, and click 3D view in the middle. This makes our top view our 3D view. So what we're going to do here, we're also going to change the mode to texture so that we can see what we're doing. Hello, I'm live. What's up? They can't hear you anyways.
Woo, it is good to be live. All right, I was just wondering what time your stream will be ending, Albino.
Load some of these. I guess it'll be whenever Andrew shows up. So if he ever does. 6?
All right, sounds good. We might be home before that. There's some stuff that I have to discuss with you, which I will talk to you about later tonight. All right?
All right. So what we're trying to find here is our gold texture. We have a certain texture that we were using to make the rings gold. I can't believe I've lost this file. Where'd I put it? Materials? No. Anyways, I gotta show you what I actually did. I went down here in the bottom left and I click Open Image. This opens an image in composting view. These images are used to add textures. Yeah, diffuse textures to the thing that you're looking at. So, what I'm gonna do here, I really don't know what I've done with my diffuse texture. I'm probably gonna have to find it. Alright. So, this is why you have a program like Search Everything. right? It allows you to do whatever you want. So the first thing we got to do is in the bottom right, we need to unwrap our mesh. Sometimes I let the default unwrap happen. All right. Then I also click down here, this icon, which is select island. And I right-click a single band. And I try and move it. So what this shows me is that it's cut up our ring into a series of pentagons. That's not going to be useful. So what I'm going to do is unwrap Smart UV Project and see if that gives us a better representation of our band. Okay, so now if we select island, we see that we get 2 rings and a series of strips for the outside. And oh, here is the spot of choice, the bit where it's fitted to hold. So that's the one that we're going to have to put a little bit of special attention into. This gold ring file is apparently missing. That's kind of interesting. So what we're going to do is I'll actually show you how to make a texture for one of these things, since I can't find them. What you'd normally do is just open. Let's go into the project folder, which is Unity Projects. I'm going to go RPG Assets, the Pro version, Items Database, Models, and Materials. There we go. This is our gold material that's saved. Really? You can't just open a TIFF file in Photoshop anymore? Alright, let's try that again. We're going to try opening the file using Blender, since, well, you should be able to open a TIFF file in Photoshop. I'm going to have to fix that later, because that's a very important feature. We're going to go Models, Materials, Texture, and we're going to select ringgold.png. Alright, now that we've done that, we can see our ring is badly textured. It will be by default. You're going to have to go over here. I'm just pressing A to select all, and then move individual pieces. You can press X to scale them. So normally what I do is I make the bands thin, 0.2, and then I move them over colors, because as you see, my texture here is just a gradient. I'm gonna put the bit where we mount the gem is gonna be the gleamy portion. And now we just need to find, what each of these bands represents. And I'm just pressing G to grab them. Ah, there we go. We found one of the bands. And we found the band next to it. And we're just going to line these up. Alright? You may find sometimes that they're flipped, and you can just type RX 180 if they're flipped to flip them back. So it doesn't matter where you position them, really. You just gotta... It only matters where you position them left, right. So let's, again, move around. We'll see that this piece 2 has to be flipped, so RX 180. And we're just going to line up these meshes. Alright? Then we'll move them all after. Okay. So now that I've done that, I'm going to move them down, so press G. I'm going to give them a direction, which is X. GY. And I'm just going to move them all down. Make sure... Yeah, okay, that's the one we're editing. So GY minus 50. We've got a few of these bands left. Not too many. So we've got this band, which... Where is it? Ah, these are the inner bands. So the inner bands we're going to give a little bit of darkness. So let me just position these inner bands over here. Let's see, again, is this an inner band? We have to keep rotating around our model just to make sure. Yep, this is another inner band, so we're gonna color it similarly. There we go. One more inner band, same thing happening here, and we're just gonna give them all a consistent color. One more inner band. Alright. And then, I'm not sure what this is. This is a bunch of little pieces. Let's... Oh, okay, that's the front piece, is it? This front angle needs to be fairly colorful because it's near the front of the ring. So I'm going to place it over there. Is this the prongs? Yeah, these are the prongs. So the prongs need to be very bright. Just pick up each one of our prongs. I want the prongs to be the brightest portion, so I'm just going to place them all somewhere in the top right of my texture. This is not the most efficient, okay? There are more efficient ways to texture. This is the easiest, I'd say. For scaffolding, like just getting something that you can test. Alright, so I've got only one more of these things. Now I only have 2 rings left. Also, it looks like 2 of these bands are flipped, so let's... Whoops. Let's see. I'm gonna go up 100. And I'm gonna take this band. Oh, yep, this is one of the pieces that I need to color. So this piece should be that color, and then GY 200, GY minus 50. What I'm doing is I'm just positioning them near the top so that I can get to the other bands underneath. This band, again, not sure which one we're moving, so we're just going to have to move around. There we go. So this band is already fine, so we're going to move it up. GY 80, GY negative 10. I think we've got 2 bands left to fix. One of them is this band, which needs to be flipped. So let's go RX 180 again. Gonna give it a 180 flip. And then we're gonna position it at about the same as the other bands, but we want this to be slightly brighter. So let's put it up here and pull it back a little. There we go. Now we're going to pull, I think there's one remaining piece, and this was the bad band in the back. Oh no, we fixed the bad band in the back. Nice, okay. Now all we're left with is the inner rings. And the inner rings we had positioned back here. So let's just move them towards our neutral colors. So now we have darker inner bands with a brighter outside. And if I deselect the ring, you'll see that it's 2 colors of yellow. And if we zoom in, we'll see that the bands are especially bright, which is what we wanted. This is where our light is going to reflect. So it's going to reflect a lot better in the places that are lighter. All right. Yeah, there's you can select from 3D view. I wish I could. The issue I'm having is that when I select something in 3D view, it selects these like little arbitrary pieces, and I know I can hold Alt and it'll select a band at a time. So like say I select the inner band, I do I hold Alt and I right click. It's only selecting a band piece at a time. If I hold Alt Shift and I right click, I can select larger band pieces, but it's more of an issue of I was trying to do the ring in strips. And the only way you can do that is, here, I'll actually show you. You manually click a bunch of these, so like this one, this one, oh, whoops. So this one, and then you select all the way around and you press Control E and you click Make Seam. That's the only other way you can do that. And that will tell the UV projector that those are the UVs that you want to light by themselves or texture by themselves. So we're going to save this file, and we're also going to export to the Fbx format, which is what we're going to be using in Unity. So let's go into Assets. Let's go into the Pro version. Let's go Models, and this is Ring 3. Now, I know you'll wonder as well, like, oh yeah, it doesn't look very round, it looks, you know, but there's ways to fix that. We won't go into that right now. let's pull over to our Unity. Yeah, we found gold ring already. And import this new model. We're going to have to make it smaller. I know that already because my scale was a bit wrong. So let's close formed ring. Let's go over to our models. And you'll see there is a ring 3. Let's scale this down to 0.05. And just see what happens when we put that in the world. Oops, a ring 3. Okay. It still needs to be smaller. So let's try a 0.02. Drag this in. Okay, I can work with that size. Let's, what is that like compared to the other ring? Whoops. It's really hard to look at things that close. So let's just, have a look. So it's a little small right now. So we can make it maybe a little bigger. We'll make it 0.03. So now that we have our ring, there we go. Now that we have our third kind of ring, drag it into the scene. We're going to go over here to our textures. Let's find, under models, materials, and we're going to give this the gold texture. We're going to get rid of no name, because I don't name my UVs. Woo, my fault. And then let's pick it up. Whoops. I wanted to pick the gizmo. And then let's give it a rotation. Peeling rotation, right? And put it up on the display. It's like a little shelf. You know? Alright. Now that we have our little gold ring, and you can't even tell this is a formed ring. I'll deal with that after. Don't worry. We want to add a number of standards to this ring. I will use a rigid body, a mesh collider, and a world item. So what we're going to do here, mesh collider, rigid body, and a world collider. Whoa, whoops, sound trigger. Remove component. Rigid body, and a world item. There we go. Now, in the future, I'll just be able to drag this item directly onto the item. But for now, I haven't linked the two systems. Yeah. So this is duplicate data entry. I am more than aware. Right? In the future, this won't be an issue. This is a formed ring. So we're just gonna give it some basic properties. We're gonna go to our mesh collider. Mesh colliders should almost always be convex. I don't know. Don't ask me. I haven't done enough Unity to understand why. And there we go. We have our ring now. And oh god, stuff is falling on me. So let's just knock everything over. There we go. Now let's press I to open our inventory. And then let's start picking them up. I want to loot all these arrows. Loot the bow, loot the staff. Ooh! Potions! Potions are mine too! Mine. Oh, the ring? Ring is mine. Mine. And you'll notice we can click on almost everything. We can't click on our gold band, and we can't click on our new formed ring. That's because I haven't added them to the right layer. So what I'm going to do now, exit play mode, right? And I'm going to click on these two items. So here's our ring. Our gold band and our ring, and I'm going to add them to the items layer. The reason why I have an items layer, which by the way is layer 8, and that's pretty significant, is that in the code, when I raycast left click with the inventory open, I only raycast on layer 8. This saves a lot of computation and terrible things from happening. So let's look at our gold band. We got to click on it. Make sure that this item is also set to items, right? None of our gold bands do not have an icon yet. So for now, we'll just give the gold band the simple ring icon just by dragging it in. Boom, there we go. I'll make another icon for those in a moment. And then make sure that our new notched ring here, which is not currently in the items class. Where did I put it? I put it right after the gold band. These are out of order. Simple ring, gold band, potion blue. potion blue, simple ring, gold band, ring 3. This ring 3 is a gem setter's ring. I don't know what we're gonna call it. We'll call it like a prepared ring or a formed ring. All right. Now that we have our formed ring preset, we're gonna go and drag it into our resources. This is now a prefab. The reason that this is in a folder called resources is that scripts can only spawn things in the resources folder. It's quite sad. It's a really, really unfortunate world. So what I'm going to do now, press play without having done any modification to script, and go and pick up all of our items. It's not something you'd normally be able to do, is it? Notice also that the top left is a Diablo TM style inventory. I don't hold trademarks for Diablo. Don't come after me, Blizzard. What we do, we can now pick up all of our items. The reason that this is significant is if I look down at the ground, you'll see that our items come in whatever order they can fit. So say I drop 3 potions and an arrow, right? And then I go over here. If I pick up the arrow, right, it finds the best possible spot to place it. Oh, and a little ring on the ground. Let's move over here. Try again. What else could we do? Well, I'll show you how a bow could be placed in the inventory at an optimal position, right? And pick up the ring and our arrow. So you can see how there's a number of reasons you'd want to have an inventory like this where you can explicitly place things. And yeah, there's a little tooltip when I mouse over them. It shows their descriptions. Those are the world descriptions, though. So I don't think my formed ring... Yeah, it just says it's a simple gold ring. A gold band. This is a formed ring. Okay. So I've not integrated the 2 item systems yet. The item manager is not integrated with the world item system. The world item system is akin to the free version of this asset. I've pushed it to the Unity Asset Store. There we go. And what we're going to do now, yeah, of course I said Diablo. Yeah, they're going to hunt me down, even if I say it's a game I like. Anyways, they didn't copyright inventories with squares in them. Trust me, I checked. There's no patent on that. So, we've got our bows. We've got our... Oh, yeah, let me show you how to make another color of potion while I'm at it. This is this exact UVs thing. The reason that we put so much time into our UV mapping, all right, is so if we go in here, we go to my textures, there's a potion blue file. What would I do if I wanted to make a purple potion? Well, as you see, it's 4 squares. All I have to do is go right here and click. I say I want a 256 by, a 128 by 128 square. 256, 256. I choose a purple color that I like. So like this one, or maybe even, that's a pink potion. Let's go for, where's a brighter purple? Alright, so we're gonna go for this and modify it. Go around there. That is a purple I want to use. And what I do is I replace the blue with the purple. That's it. Now I can save this as a new TIFF file. A new little super compressed graphic. And this is Potion Purple. Now, of course, there's a lot more optimal ways to do this as well. But I am only concerned in doing it fast. In a way that's easy to test, right? Now, so let's see. We're going to take our red potion. We'll go over here. We will duplicate it. So I'll do it right over here at the end so we have a spot to put it. Duplicate by doing Control D. And we now have 1 new potion. What I'm going to do to this potion, I'm going to give it its new colors. So I'll go down here, Materials, Textures, and you'll see there's a Potion Purple now. Alright, so let's duplicate our Potion Red material. Rename this new one to Potion Purple. And give this Potion Purple material the new diffuse. So just drag it up into the top left. Now, you normally wouldn't have to make a material and a texture for each thing, okay? Because there is support for colors. Let me show you what colors mean. If I click on this blue potion, I'm going to change it for all blue potions. Oh well. Let me show you what happens when I tint the material color. See? You can create different colors of potions by adding colors together. However, I didn't want to color this metallic bauble at the top of the potion. That's why I'm using different files for them still. Now, again, you can apply multiple materials to the same object. That's not an excuse. I'm lazy. That's the real excuse. Yeah, I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do, go into here, go to textures, and I'm going to select my blue potion. And I'm just going to make the blue purple. Now, how do we do that, you might ask? Well, I do it by going to Image, Adjustments, Hue, and Saturation. I say that I only want to change blues, and I'm going to add hue to them. So 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, 11, 20, 30, 40, 50. That's back to red. So let's go 90, 80, 70, 80. Okay, that's the purple I want. And now the lightness is going to match the color of the potion. So 50, 60, 70. And there we go. We're left with a different potion. Yes, the cap has changed colors, but I don't care. That's not important for what I'm doing. I want all of these potions to look visually different. So I'm going to save this now as potion purple. Potion purple.tiff. And you see, this is a TIFF file. I was able to open this TIFF file just fine. Some TIFF files, however, I can't open. Right. Resourcecompiler.exe is not found. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's an annoying error. How do we fix that? We just make a new document and paste our potion into it. Yeah, I wish it was a little harder than that. Basically, I can't compile from a TIFF to another TIFF because I deleted Lumberyard and I didn't fix rc.exe, which is what lets you open TIFF files. That's my fault. So what I'm going to do up here, just pick up the magic eraser, delete all the white. The reason we do this is so we can select all, go to our channels menu. All right. Now, use the quick select tool, not select all. Mouse over your object, and then in the bottom right, click Create Alpha Channel. And what this has done is created a transparency mask for your little bauble. You need this. Trust me. So now, if we save this, we should be able to save it as a TIFF file. TIFF. We could be saving PSDs, but I had bad luck with Unity opening PSDs. It says it does, but I've never made it work. All the colors were wrong. Really, you're going to do this to me now, Photoshop. Alright. I get it. We're going to save in a different format for now. Let's save as a... I guess we'll save as a PSD first. Let's save as purple as potion purple.psd. Then we'll try saving as a TIFF. I don't know why it's being so buggy. This wasn't an issue before. Potion purple.tiff. Alpha channels without layers as a copy. Save. There we go, it worked. Yeah, I think it's just Photoshop being a pile of... It hates me. Anyways, moving on. We've got our textures folder. Delete the thumbs.db file. God, I hate you, Windows. So much. I think everyone does. Go to our textures, and we'll see there's two potion purple files. There's the PSD, which we can't open. Big surprise. And the TIFF file, which we can. So we're going to click on our purple potion here. We're going to say that this is a new prefab, which up here in the top left, we just have to click... oh, well, we can't. Because we're modifying a prefab, we could be modifying... We don't want to be modifying the prefab. Let me go look at that. Resources, potion, red. Have we modified the prefab? No, we have not. Okay, we're good. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this as potion purple. Purple. We're going to drag it into our prefabs, and we're going to continue editing the prefab. We're going to say that this is a potion purple. And this is going to get a bit of a thing on it. Where's our texture? There we go. Potion purple. Purple potion. Alright. Not that hard. It can't stack, because it's just one quantity, one potion. Alright. Now we're going to click on this potion. See that it did receive those changes from the prefab. That's good. That means our changes are currently being saved. And I'm also going to go into the new item system here and add a purple potion. These are unlinked item systems, as I said, but they will be linked soon. A viscous... slimy purple ooze. I wonder what it does. Alright. Save the item database again. You'll see that that means that it makes these files here. So there is now a purple potion file. Where is it? There it is, purple potion. Alright. Which holds all of our information so that we can access it in the game. Let's make sure that our purple potion is actually a member of the items layer, and then go over and pick it up. And now we have purple potions. It's pretty simple to add items like this, right? Of course, the old and the new system being combined would be preferable, but what are you going to do, right? See, we can just do whatever we want. I love it. And you right-click any of the items to drop them. Although I think right-clicking the purple item just caused a crash. The thing you want to instantiate is null. Right, okay. I didn't think we named it correctly. So this is a potion. Right. Potion purple. Fix that. We also want to update the prefab. Potion purple. Potion purple. And this is something that the new item system is going to fix, is that all of your items have to have consistent naming. That shouldn't matter if you're using IDs. Right, so now if we drop our purple potion, besides the fact that we're dropping it through the wall, there it is. Alright, and we got our walking stick. As you see, I took a little bit of time to give them good colliders. So the walking stick does, that side piece does collide with the ground. You don't see it just falling through. Again, with the bow, you know, all of its pieces are solid. Arrows, too. The arrows, I think I made them capsules. And then I put a little bit of square on their end. And then the rings, which we can't pick up unless the inventory is open. That is a choice of player controller. That is not a hard-coded limitation of the system. Let's just pick up whatever we can from underneath us, right? Go down here. Whoops, inventory is blocking stuff. Go over and pick up everything on the ground. See, that's a neat little inventory full of stuff, isn't it? That feels like what I'd go back to town with, minus the bolts and quivers and stuff. How am I adding a photo? Well, with Photoshop, good point about TGA. Let's see if a Targa file works. I've never worked with one of them. I'm gonna save as Targa file. TGA, Targa. And I will save this as purple.tga. I wasn't sure if that would keep all of the alpha channels and stuff, honestly. Targa options, compress 32-bit. Let's go over to Unity and see if we can use that new Targa texture. Okay. Well, you know what? You've just saved me a lot of time. Thank you, man. I'm going to be using target textures from now on because Photoshop can work with them just fine. Can Photoshop open a target texture now and then continue editing? I know it doesn't have layers, but I don't care about that. So delete the PSD because, like, that was not hard to make. Delete the meta file for the PSD and click on the Targa open. Okay, look at that. So a Targa doesn't support transparency, but it supports alpha masks, which is, well, it's the same thing, really. I guess I'll be using Targa from now on, because really all I need to do is enable the red, blue, and green layers, and that's how I can have my different colors of potions. There's a lot of micro-optimization like this that you're going to find yourself doing when you get closer to production, especially if you want to move this to a phone, is that you're going to want everything to be made out of the same textures, more or less. I know it sounds like the end of the world. Guess what it is. So this is now a purple, this is now a potion purple. And then we're going to get rid of the TIFF file, because we only want to use this nice Targa now. We're going to do that. Oh, yes, as well. Fix the texture links on all of our items. So go to the resource, potion purple, and fix the link to that texture. You'd think it wouldn't delink, even though it's the same path, but it did. Damn. Mobile Photoshop? Yeah. I mean, you definitely need... You don't have to use Photoshop, but it's the easiest way to do textures, honestly. GIMP is out there. I don't like any of the controls, but that's a personal preference. Right. So now that we have these colors, our blue, red, purple potion. Hell, I'll make another purple potion just because I can. There we go. Just put another little potion on this side. Let's move the blue potion over. Purple potion over. I want the ring to hit the potion when it spawned and see if the colliders act well. Because small items, honestly, this physics for small items is terrible. It's just fine for large items, but the smaller your item, the worse the physics gets. So I'm just going to arrange this in my environment. So let's go to the hierarchy. And I like to put my stuff in the order that I see them. So I'm going to put it right after the ring, but before the blue potion. And remove the 1. You don't have to. Your items could be named whatever you want. I've not made that a requirement. Hey, looks like the physics worked fine. And I'm able to pick some of them up. You'll see that if I purposely stack my inventory badly, the system will let me do that. It's not going to cause any problems. Earlier there was a problem where it would try and quote-unquote override an item, but that's been fixed. I don't want to release something with any problems, you know? So you see, I can pick stuff up. It will always stack in the best order it can, which admittedly is pretty bad for these large items. But if we, and this is up to the player, right? Drop some of your items, like the bow. Pick up an arrow in the top left. Oh, that's a big bug. Holy crap, did anybody just see what happened? I think my bow just overrode some other items. Gonna have to fix that. I didn't even know that was a problem. Interesting. We have slightly less items than we started with now. Alright. We're gonna have to go dumpster diving in code to find out exactly what happened. Ooh, yeah, interesting that with the 1 a.m. Of course, it's 1 a.m. for the Europeans. I need to be streaming much later for the European audience. That's just going to be a common. This texture here, you're going to want to resize your textures in Blender so that one world unit is a meter. You don't have to use a 1 meter scale, but that's like the easiest way to do it. Right, there we go. I want to go through and I'll probably improve, what is it, the staff, the potion, the bow. Let's work on the arrow. This arrow needs some work, really does. So, I'm going to select all, press dot to center. You can just, whatever you select, you can always press dot to center. So this is our arrow. It's a little too round. All right, and we can fix that by selecting a few of these faces. So we got to go to face select mode. And we're just going to select 1, 2, 3, 4 faces. And we're going to tell it to delete these faces by merging them. And this will make a sharper edge. Whoops. Because an arrow doesn't have a rounded edge at the end. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll tell it to delete by merging. That'll give us a much better, much sharper arrow. So what we're going to do now is we'll select the 8 faces that supported those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're also going to flatten these faces, which again, merge, face. And then we'll examine the merged face. Just make sure that it's a valid face. Alright, looks good. Around this edge here, gonna have some problems, I think. Like, I don't know if those are still closed. They look closed. Yeah. I think that might have created holes in the mesh. So I'm gonna undo that last change there. There's a number of things you just need to watch out for, like holes. We're going to do the same thing to this edge. I'm going to select the 1, 2, 3, 4 by holding Control. Corner pieces, and we're going to merge their faces. And I did all this by using just a primitive. The face is made out of a cone, 2, 3, 4, and the rest of it is made out of a cylinder. And as you can see, just using a few commands like delete, you can really improve the shape. So we've got our edge. Our edge could probably be merged. We've got our flat here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're just going to merge these as well. Alright. And again, we're going to go with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And merge them. Now we're left with just a little bit of a tapered edge, and our point has way less vertices on it. There's a better shape. The back here could use some work. Alright. I'm actually going to have to fix this manually. So I'm going to select this edge, which is this 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh god, this is going to be a terrible edge to select. So I'm going to hold Alt and Shift to select the whole edge. Alright. Then I'm going to hold Alt and Shift to select the other edge. And I'm going to move them behind the stick, which is the Y direction. So GY point 1, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. There's a reason for this. I've flattened a lot of the faces now so that they can be deleted. I'm going to select my remaining pieces here. So Alt, Shift, and right click around this edge. And it should select the whole edge for you. Alt, Shift, right click. You're going to want to select the remaining 2 pieces here. Remaining 2 pieces here. And just move these out as well. So again, GY 0.005. And I've moved 2 faces too far. So let's select 1, 2 edges, sorry. And I'll move them backwards. There we go. So we've created a much flatter connection to our arrowhead now. So again, the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to select 1 face and 2 faces. And then also this one. And this one. And we're going to say GY 0.005. And then again, we're going to fix it. I'm going to select just the point, because it looks like only the point is fucked this time. So select just that point. And then select this point. And move them, whoops, GY minus 0.005. There we go. Now that we've done this, we can select some faces, like these faces here, that can simply be merged. There are more automated ways to do this, of course. But, and I'm not going to say anything good or bad about them. I prefer to do it manually, but of course there's some decisions like this flat here that just could be better done by a computer. So now that we have our head, and it's sort of an arrowhead this time, I do want to do one more thing. I want to expand this seam. So I'm going to hold Alt-Shift and select this seam. Whoops, can I not select the seam anymore? There we go. So now we've selected the whole seam. I want to scale it by 1.2. This makes the stick thicker around, right? The reason I want to do that is I'm going to select a seam down at the back here, which is this one. Go around the other side and select it again. This one. Make sure that's selected. Oh, one more. This one. There we go. We've selected our seam. We've not selected any of these fin seams, though. And I want to move these seams, because I actually plan to make this arrow longer. It's not currently the correct dimensions. So the way I'm going to do that is by pressing G, Y, and then moving it out in a direction. Right, it's not going to work like that. We can't just select the seams. Alright, let's select entire wings then. I'm going to select one wing, 2 wings, 3 wings. You use Alt-Shift. It normally will let you select everything. Sometimes you just need to play with it. There we go. And now if we move this out, it should properly extend the shaft. So that's way too much. That, on the other hand, is not way too much. And then I think I also wanted to make them slightly longer. So I'm going to select this. Then on the other hand, this one. And on the other hand, this one. And I just want to move them out. 0.03, 0.02, 0.03. And then I'm going to move them out as well. 0.03. Because right now they're not... so this one goes up 0.03. There we go. As you see, that makes a little more sense, right? I don't want to do that, though, for video game reasons. I'm going to have to make a more complicated collider if I make those fins any larger. So you know what? I think I'll just leave this as is. I think the way that I'll scale it is by making the stick a little smaller. And again, the arrowhead's a triangle right now. I know it's missing a notch. You normally need to make a notch. Yeah, removing subdivisions is incredible. What do we got left here? I could simplify this stick. That's definitely a thing. Let's see. Remove doubles, of course, isn't going to do anything, but there is a simplify option. The opposite of subdivide. Add the form, smooth vertex. Why not? I know it's not going to work. Interesting. Did not expect it to break like that. Ooh. Noise did not do anything. Alright. Slide, rest, or pull. There used to be a proper merge. One that was not a limited dissolve. Max angle 15 degrees. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Something that would allow me to reduce these sticks without actually reducing the quality of the circle. And now that I have this selected, I just want to make it a little bit smaller. So let's make it SX 0.75 and SZ 0.75. That's a lot closer to the perspectives I wanted. Now I'm just going to double check composting mode and make sure that we didn't screw up any of the UVs. So looking around, loading the wood file here, which apparently we need to find. So let's open file, go back into RPG assets, and find that little wood file because apparently it's missing now. Yeah, it didn't really go anywhere. So opening our wood file, just look at our stuff. We've got our UVs. This is pink at the moment because, I don't know. Man, what's going on? I have wood loaded. Oh, there we go. I have to load the right wood file. Deselecting our arrow. Can have a look at it. Still got all the UVs we want. So let's save it. Let's export it one more time as an FBX. And the wonderful part about Unity is that these changes will go live immediately. So if I go into models, I save over arrow. I have a previous copy. And I go into Unity, all of my arrows will immediately change shape because I've just replaced their model. Let's have a look at these arrows, shall we? They're flat down one end. More triangular. They're longer now. Interesting. I think I like the new arrows. I could probably change their shape a little still, but because right now the heads are a little large for their size, right? And they don't match the drawing, which is fine because I made the drawing and I'm not very good at that. There we go, though. When they're on the ground, they look about the right size. I mean, remember, they're being fired from a longbow, so... And the longbow's huge. So let's look at the bow compared to the arrows. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're really hard to click. That's one thing about making them thinner. Yeah, I don't know. We had that bug once where a bow would override an arrow or like other devices, but I can't seem to replicate it. It was a very specific condition. I'm definitely going to have to go code diving to figure out exactly what causes that. What can I add now? I think I'll add books. And then... Well, that's pretty much it. We have a complete inventory system, even though they're two different systems. We have to take our second inventory system, which is the one with the editor menu, and integrate it into the world item system a little better, so that we don't have to have item definitions in two places on Unity. I think once we get that done, we'll be good. We'll be good, yeah. So what I'm going to do now is go into the code. Now, if C# is intimidating to you, then you might have to look away. Nah, I'm sorry. So here's C#. Here is the amount of code that has made our new inventory system, the one that's based on the editor window in the bottom left of Unity. And, I mean, I wouldn't recommend copying this code. Not just the fact that it's mine, but it's not well written. This is terrible code. Especially this bit here. This is the worst code. Where I begin a scroll view, and then a toggle view, and then a vertical box, and it's just terrible. It's really hard to make something look nice in the Unity editor. I also have to fix my little bit of save load issue. Ah, well, don't mind me. Let's move on to fixing our actual bugs, which in this case is The scroll wheel doesn't scroll. Also, some of the icons look really messed up, but that's because the icon preview or preview texture that I'm using is explicitly square. I would also replace all of these TIFF files with targas now that I know that they work. TGA files, but that'd be a little boring for you to watch. Alright. Taking these items here, I'm probably going to add a clone functionality or duplicate item. So let's see. Duplicate is handed a, so void duplicate. Actually, we're going to see that this is a base item clone. And it requires a base item source. What we do is we make a base item. And then for each property and source, we clone it. At least the important ones. Return I. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the title first of all. Then we're going to take a copy of the icon. Some of these things have to be copied. Some of them can be copied directly. Like, obviously, text, you can copy directly. Let's see. What other properties? Can stack equals source.can stack. I always want to reset quantity to 1 because we're only copying one of the item. But we will keep the other max stack properties. So let's can stack, max stack, and height equals source height, width equals source width. See, and there's a number of properties we want to fix as well. For example, a cloned item is not going to be on the person, even if the source item was. And we want a cloned item to be visible in the editor by default. There we go. We have a little stub clone function now. We could call this on each item, or in this case, we're just going to make it an internal function of our inventory. Yeah, not the greatest, but we just want to make simple buttons. So what we're going to do here, and vertical, is right at the bottom. We're going to go editor GUI layout space, and we're going to offer a button, which is if GUI layout button clone item.title. And that's if they click this button, base item E equals clone item. You see, it just works. Items dot add I. That's it. If they click clone, oh yes, and if they clone an item, we're gonna say that we want to make our item invisible after that. Whoops, we'll do that right down here at the bottom. So if you clone an item, you'll close the item you're working on and open that new item. So let's just check that right here. We have our purple potion. We have our gold ring. We have our bow. Let's take our gold band and clone it. And now we have a second kind of gold band. That's pretty easy. One more function I'm going to add. The ability to delete items. Yeah, that's kind of important, right? So again, add a new button. And this is delete plus item.title. And this will call delete item. Delete item. There we go. And it will do items.remove item. There we go. And loaded. I had a list of loaded items somewhere. Load list. Right. Load list.remove item. This is very important, actually. Load list is something I use to make sure that an item has been loaded. It's for the save load system. There we go. we have to remove it from the load list first before, because the item remove is actually going to delete the item. Yeah. So, since this reference is cleaned up, we have no function delete, so let's make our function delete. This is void delete. It takes a base item. And what delete does is delete finds if that asset exists. So let's go down to our save function, which has a similar action right here. And it actually deletes the asset behind it. Yeah. Deleting something is pretty intense. So if this asset has a path, item, and if it's in the load list, if the load list is not null and the load list contains the item, then we call delete asset. And delete asset takes a string path. It is just like that. Alright. Deleting is a pretty intense thing, but I need it sometimes. Sometimes you want to delete an asset. Now, the asset might not exist. If it doesn't exist, it won't be deleted. We gotta test that here. Gold band 2. We want to delete gold band 2. And we'll see that in the items database section, it's not been saved yet. So what we're gonna do, gonna make this bigger, and we have an error. Okay. I does not exist in the current context on line 23. That's pretty straightforward. I copied code that had the I in it, and it should be item. That's it. So again, go look down here. We have our gold band 2, which is... Oh, it just got saved. Interesting. So I made it so that anytime it closes, it saves. I guess that's better than it was before, huh? And I'm going to say I want to delete gold band 2, which just caused an error. The enumeration operation may not execute because a collection... Oh, yeah, okay. So if you modify a collection, you can't continue. So let's go up to our delete function. Delete. And once we've deleted an item, we need to return. Yeah. It's just, we can't actually have the editor layout continue functioning once we've deleted something from it. The onGUI function will have to return. So we're going to try and clone gold band again. This should create a gold band 2. Our gold band 2. There's a lot of gold bands right now, actually. So gold band down here is what we want to delete. Let's, oh god. Let's rename it just in case. Gold band 3. Alright, and then we want to delete it. Can we do that? It says... No, wait. Our whole items database right now, man. It's because we can't get a window high enough. Because my scroll window doesn't work yet. Alright, delete gold band 3. Boom. There we go. And delete gold band 2. Boom. We now actually have a way to clean up our items. Yeah, that's not bad. And when I deleted gold band 2, did it delete the file? Let me refresh. It did not. Well, you know what? That might be good. Because if you're not deleting the files, you're not causing anyone to lose their work. So, yeah. I mean, that was good. We fixed up the error we did have. Now we have the ability both to clone and delete items. And yeah, it should be good. Oh, wow. We actually had a... Yeah, it's unfortunate there. I will see you later, though, And... Good point about the way it's just so much easier to work with. Alright, so going up here, we've got our items. We have the ability to both add and remove items from the items database now. The items database is not linked into the game just yet, but let's not worry about that too much. So we have our little box. I know this isn't much of a testing area, right? Not meant to be. We'll go to our light. It's Oh, where's our light? Is our light off? Directional light. No, our light's here. It's a little yellow. There we go. The 0.51 intensity. 0.75 intensity. There we go. And just have a look at our items. Good gold ring, wooden staff, wooden bow, a purple potion, a blue potion, and a red potion. I think that'll be it for today, but join me again tomorrow when I do even more work with this inventory system. Or join me tonight at 1 a.m. British Standard Time when I stream to Europeans. More or less, I'll be explaining the inventory system for the start of that video, and then I'll be actually developing on it again. So, this was the Angry Albino, and thank you for lending me your ears. Have yourself a great day.